Hi, this is Nancy, and I'd like to share with you a card today that I made for the Altenew 2018 September washi tape release. And I am using this really cool washi tape that it's about 2¼ inches wide, and it's called Pastel Strokes, and it's really got some fun pastel colors in there. So this is one of the cards that I made, and this washi tape is so easy to use on a card. So I was trying to figure out what to do, so I was taking just some basic cardstock and I was putting the washi tape on there, and I cut a couple of strips of the washi tape. Then I also placed the washi tape on another piece of paper and decided to cut the words happy out of it. So I'm going to start and make this birthday card. I used the bold alphabet dies to cut these letters out. So you can see they're in all these rainbow colors, and they came out really cool. I like the way they look, and the washi tape made it so easy to just colorize the happy. And I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do with this, and I've cut a birthday greeting here, and it's been embossed with the gold embossing powder, and it's out of the birthday builder. I love this stamp set. And so I was trying to determine exactly if I wanted to use a black word or if I wanted to use the gold embossed, and I decided on that. And then I used the party time die to cut out these little sequins in gold, because I figured I would maybe enhance the card with those. I've used like a stick-it backing on there, so they're gonna just pre-stick on the card. Also, I wanted to make a special background, so I used the Feeling Dotty stencil, and I made a background with that. And I thought that it would look really pretty with the card. And I was going to use a clear embossing, but my clear glitter wasn't working. So I decided that I would pick up some Lavender Fields re-inker. And what I did have in my stash was I had a Nouveau Golden Crystal and the Pink Opal glitter paste. So I said, well, this will work. It'll match with what I'm trying to do. And at one point, I did add a little bit of Lavender Fields to the gold embossing paste, and it gave me a kind of a fun, dusty look. So I've got some gold and a little bit of a dusty color and some pink in there. So I already did this so it was dry. And I just used my palette knife, and I put that on there with the palette knife, and I let it dry. Just be sure when you use anything like this that you take and you clean your stencil and your palette knife off, because it'll be like concrete otherwise. So now I'm going to take these two strips, and I'm just going to adhere them, one at the top and one at the bottom of the card. And just use some strong adhesive, because there is going to be that texture on there. So I tend to use a liquid adhesive. So I'm going to use some liquid adhesive here. Quickly put this on here, and you're going to let it dry. I placed a weight, like a couple of my stamp blocks on there, so it would kind of hold it down. And that way it was ready to go. So that's pretty easy, and then I'm just going to trim the edges off after it dries so my panel is ready to go. So now, as I said, I just put a couple of blocks on there, and you can stick it to the side while you're doing everything else. Now what I need to do is put the other pieces of my card together. I need to work on getting all my letters together, and I've actually taken the happy and I've cut the happy. They were 3 stacked sets of happy. So it makes it look like a chipboard. So this is a heavy 110-pound piece of cardstock. So I cut it 3 times in just the neutral paper, and I've pre-glued them together. So they're already glued together. Now I'm going to take the really pretty printed ones with the washi tape, and I'm going to adhere all those on there. I'm just going to glue them together. I like using liquid glue because I can move it around and it's easier for me to get them all on there. You could use a sticky back adhesive and put them on there, but I like using liquid just because it helps me, allow me to move things around and make sure that they're on there correctly the way I want them to be. So as I've done all that, they're going to sit up there and they're going to dry. I'm going to get my panel back that's dried, that I've trimmed. And I'm just going to use a tape runner, a gun. You can use liquid, you can use whatever you'd like, but I'm just going to take and adhere this panel that I've pre-made with the 2 borders and the glitter paste to the front of my A2 card. This panel is about maybe 1/8 of an inch difference around the edge. That way it does have a slight border on there. So I'm just going to take this panel that I've got ready, put it on this card front. It's pretty easy to do. I like using a strong adhesive when I'm doing this. So I have it ready to go. I've got this panel placed on the front of my card. And now I can start putting all the pieces together that I have pre-made for the card. I have the sentiment strip, and I have all my little glitter, my gold little sequins. So when I do something like this, I like to take my letters and I like to place them on there. Now, I have 2 P's that you can see, and I really wanted to switch up the color. I didn't want my pink and blue A to be like my pink and blue P. So I've placed those on there. I'm laying them out so I can see, how is it going to look? What's the layout going to be? You can see I had the black birthday that I decided not to use, so I'm kind of using it as a place marker at the top here because I'm going to want all those upper humps, like the humps of the A's and the P's and that hump of the H to be in a line and be straight. My T-square is a little large to be doing something like this, so I just need something that is going to have a straight edge on it. And I'm, placing down my birthday so I can see what the birthday looks like. And I am going to cut the birthday off, and I'm going to just make a little flag on there. I usually just make a little slit about 1/4 of the way, 1/4 of an inch up, and then I can take from the corner of the piece there and cut to the slit, and that gives you a really nice even little flag that's easy to use. And then I will need to trim off the right hand side just a little bit for placement. So I usually just kind of play around with these things and I just cut them with my scissors. It's an easy cut. Now I do want to pop this up off of the panel. There is some depth with my word happy because I've got all those stacked pieces of cardstock under each one of my letters. So I'm just taking a piece of foam tape, and I usually use a pretty solid piece because I want that panel, that little sentiment flag to be, adhered and for it to not flex in the middle. So I am going to put that on the bottom of my card. And it looks really nice with the glitter paste. And again, I'm just working on trying to get my letters straight. So I did pick up my ruler thinking that that would be a little stiffer and that it'd be easier for me to, put the tops of my letters even. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue the H on, and I'm going to put it down first. And I'm using some just strong multi-matte medium adhesive, collage medium, anything that you like to use that's liquid. And I'm putting that down. Then I'm going to put the Y down. So I'm putting down the left and the right hand letter. And I know that they're all going to fit because I have them laid out now, and I'm just putting my ruler up there and making sure that, you know, it's even on the right and the left. And then I'm going to just adhere all of these letters and place them. They're pretty tight, but I can place the last P in the middle. So I've got all those letters on there, and I've placed them on there, and now I need to just make sure that I put a little weight on those. I just stick my blocks on there for a little while, and that way they'll hold them down. Now, as I said, I have a sticky back adhesive that when I die cut all these sequins, it was on there. So I'm not going to bore you. I'm going to fast forward through taking all that sticky back off. I use my craft pick to get all that off, and then I just kind of sit them up there so they're ready to go on my silicone mat. I will need to probably use a little bit of adhesive on these when it comes time to putting them on certain areas, just because the sticky back adhesive probably won't have them stick on the glitter paste as well. So once again, as I kind of play around with these, sometimes embellishments and sequins and little accents like this are some of the harder things for me to figure out. I put them on, and again, you like to have those 3s or those 5s, but I added a little bit of adhesive so that sequin will stay. I do love the way these get die cut out from that party time die. And it was just a piece of scrap gold cardstock. So again, I've got a little bit of adhesive on there just in case I decide I'm going to plop it down on the glitter paste, but I've just placed it up there at the top. And again, there are multiple different sizes of these sequins, so I also like to put different sizes together. And I really decided I didn't want to put any on the actual letters for the happy. So I'm just placing a couple of these as I play with it and see where I'm going to put them. I was really, really happy with the way, get the pun on happy there, that this card came out. It was a lot of fun. These washi tapes are so easy to use, and they're fast. This one is so colorful, and I really enjoyed working with it. And this is one of the cards that I put together, and I hope that you continue to look at all the other cards and stop back frequently to see what I have to offer off of this new Altenew Washi Tape blog hop. So thanks for stopping in and sticking with me through this video. I hope you have a great day.